There you go. I thought I was going to catch you doing your like typing more messages then.
Oh, baby, baby. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like right now. A Wish version of Britney Spears.
A Wish version of Britney Spears. Don't get me started on Wish. My dad's, that is a, you know, like, were they a boomer that can't understand how Wish works? The amount of stuff that my dad buys on Wish that never even arrives.
It makes me, it's so hilarious. I love that meme where Wish version of this. Like, oh, I'm going to get this. Becca ordered a travel iron the other day and a toy come.
I love
a travel iron. She ordered a travel iron, and when it arrived, it was a toy iron.
My dad, we did this one I was looking at, you know, the electric scooters. I didn't get one of them, but like the electric scooters, and they're like, the one I was looking at was about £1,500. My dad went, oh, I've just bought an electric bike on Wish, 2 of them for me and your mum, 17 quid. And I went, and he said, it's supposed to be coming tomorrow. And I went,
no,
that's no way. Is that cool? And then it kept getting this message going, it's about to be delivered. It's about to be delivered. And then, do you know what? I in the end, I gave up asking. So I'd have to chase him up because I know.
You don't even know what it was.
It never arrived. Nothing ever arrived.
I bet a paper cut out of the bike arrived. With a light bulb inside the package. Here's your electric bike.
It's when you find the image that they've used on the real website. Like I found like this really cool desk chair thing. And it was like, you know, like it was like a dining room set that all slides in. It was very fancy. And you see it on Wish and I was like, that's wicked. And then you do like a Google image reverse search and you find it. And I was like, on Wish, it's only like £12. But like, that one says it's like 10 grand because it's custom made. It's like, okay.
So
I love it.
But yeah, if you ordered Britney Spears on Wish, it'd be, oh, baby, it'd be me.
You. I love it. That's so today, what are we talking about?
Setting new records and putting fire in your belly.
Putting fire in your belly.
In your belly.
Very northern thing.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by so let's talk about that. What do you mean by that?
Like, I just realised last week that I've been coasting for quite a lot, and this is going to sound really pricky, and I don't mean it to sound pricky, but my coasting might look like it's very, very good, but my like, how do I say what I want to say? You know, where?
I know what you mean.
Like where like my 10-20% effort
yes
is most people's 100% effort.
Yeah. So you know what you're capable of, and if you're not achieving what you're capable of, not a reflection on anyone else listening to this, because if people gets triggered and goes, oh, that's crazy good.
No, I'm not. I don't mean like I'm better than everyone else's shit. I just mean that the way I can handle things is a lot more intense, shall we say? And I've been very, very coasting, not coasting, because I've obviously had other stuff like Keo working away, the kids, the house, staff, expanding, my grandma, like everything's just been like a very, very intense year. And then the other day I was just like, I can't stand it. I miss having that fire in my belly and not just coasting and being good. I want to be absolutely unbelievable. I want to be the best I can be at what I do. And like, it's just such a nice feeling having that fire. And so I literally woke up on Saturday and I was like, Keo was home. I said, really, really sorry. I'm seeing you all week, but I need you to support me. I need to do this. Like, I need to just smash it out, go back to basics for 4 weeks and like set myself a new challenge. So obviously this won't make much sense to most people, but people in the industry will get it. Like, I think the most I've ever done on my own was just under 3,000, I think, in premium in a month. But that was brilliant. But I won't bullshit. That was because it was when I went from being an advisor to an AR. I had 2 months worth of business because it took so long for the FCA to sign me off. I had like a lot of business, like a lot in 1 month. I should like work like a dog. So this month I've set myself a challenge of hitting how much was it again? It was more 3,000 in premium on my own. So I'm going to do that. But really secretly, I want to try and do 3,500.
3,500 is what you want to do.
Yeah. If I could do that, I'd be happy. 3.5. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Just for my head, just for to be like, I just think when I want to break down the next thing, like I've always sort of, all the things I want to try and do, I've coasted through the last year. And I just think I need a fresh little kickstart to get myself out of that rut I've been in, where like life gets on top of you sometimes and everything around you gets on top of you and you become comfortable. You become like, I don't want to say like a slug, but you know what I mean? Like where it's like,
slug.
Sort of, like you're still moving forward, but you're moving forward at a pace that you're not
snail's
used to.
pace, isn't it? It's a real, I know what you mean. Yeah, you can quite easily, and we can all do it as well, especially when things start to be, me and you spoke a bit about this off air a little bit, but when you hit a certain level of success, and and there's not a level of success that's higher or lower, it's the level in your mind you thought, I don't know if you've had this, and you definitely will, where like I will sometimes sit and go, I never thought this would even be possible. So when you hit, you go, well, we're doing all right, actually. Look, we're here, but it's not about whether we're doing all right or not. It's whether we really have reached the full potential of what you're truly doing. And if you're not striving, I do believe, if you're not striving towards your full potential, you are, growing or decaying. You're not standing still. And I think a lot of the time, as you say with yourself, like it's really hard. And I've said this, I say it's to clients of mine with you. We'll talk about you as an example of this. When people come to me and they'll say, can I work with you? I'd like to work with you. I've seen what Carl has done. That comes up quite often. And I really have to say, please don't measure yourself against what Carl has done, because it's not normal. Like what you've done requires you're built differently. And I think that's the thing with yourself, is that when we say looking at your scores versus what you're really capable of, it's you've not been doing what you're really capable of, and we know that. Whereas most people would kill to be able to do what you do, there's a reason why you are really kind of the first in your industry. You're the first of your industry to be. I've spoken this with many people in your industry, who've said, you're the one of the first highest writers who is also a quote unquote influencer, a public figure, Instagram, Facebook, like TikTok, like you are very much setting this path out. You're carving this out for you. And I think the story is not written. It's nowhere near fully written. We're only just really started. And I think it's exciting.
I've just got over a speed bump. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's a great way. It's exactly that. Like we sometimes, and we all have to take a minute to like be like, oh, this is great. We're enjoying it. And then we've said this before, you kind of play a little bit at being a business person. We all do that. And then it's like, no, but now we also need Carla to come back as well and just kind of show the world.
I know I am a bit shit at the business side, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm so shit at it. I am.
You're not shit at it.
I am compared to like, I just absolutely buzz off insurance,
Yeah,
I love speaking to people. I love it. I love like, I get such a buzz off it. And like when I come in the office, I came in on my own. And I was here for like 8 hours on Saturday.
They're thriving off of that. I bet you were literally like, when you're on the phone.
I was just loving life. I had Alexa on volume 9. Like, it's like blasting out Kanye West, Touch the Sky. And like absolutely. Just like this, like that. I've seen that cat gif where they're like this.
Yeah.
Like, that was me. That was me.
Like Bruce Almighty, isn't it? When he's like typing. He's like...
Yeah, that was me. I was absolutely buzzing. But I left and I thought, oh my God. Like, I
haven't felt like that in a while. I bet there's that feeling.
Yeah, like, because I feel like I've been trying to get to the next point of where I'm meant to be at in a typical career, should we say? Like, right, well, I've done all this, I've done this.
The now business owner. Yeah.
Now I need to be this. I can't just be an advisor. And I don't know. I like being an advisor. I really do. I love it.
I remember my first ever boss and a mentor of mine, and still very close to me now. He was an insane estate agent, and he'd been in the industry for like 45 years at the time I met him, and he worked in the corporate company, but he wasn't. He was actually in the agency when they bought it. So he came in as an independent. They bought it. He stayed. He's worked his way up and down the ladder many times. and he's very successful, was a multi-millionaire by the time I met him through property, but just worked as an estate agent, branch manager. And I used to speak to him, and he put a lot of perspective on, and it reminds me of yourself, because he said to me, Ash, I just love the job. And he said, and every time they tried to promote me up, he said, every time after about 10 years, I'll think, you know what, I probably should go further. There's got to be more than this. So he said, so I become an area manager. But he said, and then within a year, I'm like, I hate this. Like, I hate this because I love the job. He said, I love the people. I love the property. I love the products. I said, I love it all. And he was like, and he was the best. He was absolutely, like you said, not many branch managers are like multi-millionaires. And it was because he loved it. And I think that sometimes, and he said, and I remember thinking at that point when you meet him, I was like, you can be really successful at doing that job. You don't have to go, like if you go and start a company, it's like, well, you got to become the manager, then you got to become the this. You can just be good at one thing and your skill can be in that. And then you can really thrive. And he still, to this day, I've not met anyone as good as him at what he did. And I think that that's like with you, I've said that about you. I haven't met anyone as good at selling insurance as you. Not a single person. Like,
no, thank you.
And it's what it's true. And I think that's the gift. You can't have that. You can't teach that. As yes, you're learning with staff. Your staff are good, but they're not doing $3,500. Like, because that's not what normal people.
I know, but it's like it's so annoying because you think like I'm annoyed at myself because I didn't. Like I don't. It's not even like I really have to try. I just love it so much. So it comes. I remember you saying to
me. This is when we worked together for about a year, and I said to you, "Can I ask you a question about this?" And you're like, "Yeah." You're like, "Yeah, go ahead." And I said, "When you work, do you feel like it's actually pretty easy, and you think that you can't understand why people don't?" When people come to you and they're like, how do you do it? And you're like, I don't really get it. And it feels a little bit like a con. Like you're like, am I missing something or doing something wrong? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, that's how I feel about like marketing and stuff. And I was like, I thought you'd say that because that's what you have. There's that feeling of
I remember when I first opened the Protection Parent and I was absolutely smashing it. And I was like, am I going to get shut down soon? Like, am I doing something wrong? Like, and then like, and genuinely, like, my network will back me up. Like, my compliance is mint. My clawbacks are mint. My client satisfaction's mint. And I'm like, what am I doing with me? Yeah, like, what's wrong?
It's like
I think it's just that. I think when you fall in love with something, like wholeheartedly, truly buzz off something. It isn't like it changed your life. It is hard, but
the thing is, it changed your life. Like, and I think there's something about you that's really interesting, which is that, and this is like how I feel about what I do. Is it changed my life? It changed my family's life, and actually, partly like you changed. Like when we first met, there was that thing of like when I met you, like your career has changed my life as well because of the success you've had and the success I've been able to have with other clients because of you being who you are. But there's an element of there'll be a thing with your insurance that you'll have where before that, like you said before, you're a saleswoman at Howdens, but this actually gave you a life that you probably would not even, that is like unattainable. And it has. And I think sometimes people don't realize that. Sometimes people can get pretty bitter about this stuff with the industry. And it's like, they go, oh, I don't like the job. But I'm thinking, don't like the job. Like, look at what it's given you.
I know.
How can you, like you say, we were living in that extension, but you're thinking, yeah, but like, look, like I see the stuff you post and think, yeah, because look at what you, as in like the house, and it's now starting to come together. And you think, how can you not love what you do? And that's why you're good at what you do, because you love it. But as you love it,
and you appreciate it. You appreciate what you do. Like, oh my God, I'm so grateful to insurance.
How amazing your children's lives are going to be because you found insurance. Like there's that moment of like, you found it just after Alba, was born.
Yeah.
Like it written for a reason. And I think that sometimes people find that all a bit like wanky and a bit like, oh, like, no, it's just, and it's like, no, I think sometimes that the secret source is that you genuinely are passionate about it.
Yeah. And you appreciate it. Yeah. I've rubbed off on Jackson as well, so, like when I set this target, I was telling the girls last night, so, I said, right. And I went downstairs and I told Jackson, I was like, right, this is what I'm going to do. And he was like, what? And I said, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I need to do every day. And he was like, are you going to do it? I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. Go and do it. He went, you better do it, Mum, or I'll be disappointed. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. So later on in the night, we went to McDonald's and he went, he said, so what are you going to do to get it? And I was saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And he said, why are you doing that? And I said, because that's just what I used to do when I started. Like, that's how I, like,
Yeah.
it was like a momentum. I was like trying to explain to him like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
So he said to me, so what, if I help you, what will I get? And I went, well, if you help me, I said, if you get me clients, like you get me people to fill in my form and book in with me, I'll give you like a bonus. So if you do 3, I'll give you 50. If you do 10,
Yeah.
I'll give you 100. Frig me, literally an hour later, he's already texting his mates saying,
Yeah,
tell your mum to get this. I get 50 quid, I'll share it with you. So his mum, so all his mates' mums, there's no exaggeration, I have 3 completed forms because of Jackson yesterday.
Oh, really? Oh my
3.
gosh, that's amazing.
I know. And then he's messaged me today. Obviously, he's off school now at work. And he's messaged me and he's put, I was laughing here and thought, oh my God. Keo said to me, he's definitely your son. Hi, mum, hope you're okay. Then 10 minutes later, if Becky messages you, I gave her your number. It's all as mum. Love you.
I love that.
I know. So, yeah, it's rubbing off on them.
He'll be coming into the business soon.
Don't. I said I brought him in a couple of months ago when he was off school on his staff strike, and I had him like doing stuff from spreadsheets. He was like this, and I said, "Well, get yourself outside and do manual work. Then it's manual work, or it's using your brain, or it's creating something."
Yeah, but when he came back from the last strike, he was moaning about working with the builders because you're like,
he didn't like working with the builders. He didn't like. He worked with the builders for a day, helping him out with stuff, and at the end of it, he'd had a bath. I got him from work, and I said, "How was your day?" Then he went, "I felt like I was on a concentration camp. I'm never ever doing that again." So, yeah, he's definitely. I've rubbed off on Jackson, I think, without even realising it.
I love that. That's good. Like that's a good skill though as well. Like to get over that. That's a really good skill. And that's what I mean though, is obviously in you, you've obviously got it because it's that side as well.
I know, and I say it all the time. It's like people might think it's a bit daft, but like my dad had me out, on the boot sales at 7, 8-year-old, and just being around like my dad could, like, you think I'm good. Our dad was just unbelievable at selling, unbelievable. And I remember being a kid looking at him and being like, him going to me, right, if you sell 10 of these, I'll give you £1. And I'd be like, £1, robbing bastard. Absolutely robbed me blind, he did. Like, at least I'm giving Jackson 50 quid. I was buzzing because I could afford to get a bacon butty from the scruffy van on the boot sale. But I did it, because like you wanted to impress them and watch them what they were doing. And it's just, I think that's where
that's what you are, as you say. You're a salesperson. That's you. That is what you are. Like that is your skill because you look. When you look through the trade, it's like you're good at sales, and when you find the right product, it's like the right match. The product matches with and insurance. So I always say that. Like Freddie, my wife, you know Freddie, and she said this every time. She always says to me because I'm always like, she'll be funny. If I'm like, if this went wrong, then, I'd go back into mortgages, and she's like, no. I would never go into it. She said, I'd never go into mortgages. She said, if I was going to do anything, I'd sell insurance. And then she's always said it. She was like, it's the only one. And because I like mortgages. And she was like, nope. She said, it's the only one. And she said, you can make decent living, a very good amount of money. She said, but you also can actually help people in a way that you can't help people in the other way. She said, I think it's such a...
I think it's so fulfilling.
Yeah, she said, I can imagine. She said it looks like a very rewarding job because she was very good at sales. She always had a sales career before. But she said, I wouldn't want to sell mortgages because she always said to me, you're not selling anything. She said, people, I need a mortgage. Can you do it? She said, you kind of order taking. She said, really, it's the selling is in the insurance. And she was like, and I think it has such an impact on people's lives if you get it right. And it really does. And I think that's the thing. It's such a wonderful product. It shocks me that not as many people are in it as compared to mortgages.
I think they will. I think it'll rise. The more social media keeps going with it. But it's definitely something you need to not buy into, you need to live in over and over again and like get your fire back.
And it is. I love it. Any parting words? That sounds so miserable. You need to find a better way to say that.
Relight my fire.
Awful. We
It's
are
not
good.
that bad.
Yeah, you're actually not bad a singer.
No, I'm not a bad singer at all. I'm actually a very good singer. Thank you very
I
much.
was going to say, you're not. I just said you're not a bad
Anna
singer.
Becca. Becca Scott's a good job you're doing Schumann's. That's all I'm saying.
I love
But no,
it.
just find your fire and go for it.
Find your fire.